И еще раз здравствуйте, мои уважаемые зрители.
Hello again, my dear viewers. In the yard we end on March 14th. Today is short, dry only due to the military situation. So what's going on in the south? In the south and in the region of the Nikolaev and Kherson regions, this is what is happening. Bashtanka. In the morning there was an airstrike. There was supposed to be a purge attempt today. The result, I think, we'll tell tomorrow. Interesting events also take place in the Pervomaysky district. Here is this highlighted ledge towards the east of Nikolaev. This is the village of Pervomayskoy. He is very comfortable. Why is it so squeezed out? But because it turns out such a small long reservoir. It, taking into account the blown-up ridge across the road towards the east, makes it possible to hold this position from Nikolaev quite easily. But it is very, very difficult for the Russian troops to cling to this position. That is why there is such a ledge now. But there were battles here today, artillery was working, aviation was working. Also tomorrow morning I will try to find out what is there. What ended? In the Krivoy Rog direction, Russian aviation is also striking. Artillery strikes. Fire damage is inflicted on those advanced barriers of the armed forces of Ukraine that are on the border of the Kherson and Dnipropetrovsk regions. Also today there were very serious artillery attacks from the Russian side from the Ukrainian side in the Zaporozhye-Rekhovo region. There were very intense artillery duels, which say that here, too, the front line may move in the near future. Well, the main direction for today is the direction to Kurakhovo. Judging by the evening report, the Russian troops have moved forward a little more, and in general they have covered more than half the distance from Ugledar to Kurakhovo. But the truth behind this line, taking into account the terrain, the Ukrainian armed forces will try to linger, because if they do not hold it, well then the training of the Donetsk front will be a matter of several days. That is, most likely tomorrow Russian troops will come to this line, and see how it all ends. Also clarification on Guliapol. The local guys called me, they said that there were no Russian troops in Guliapol. All this is still a hoax. Well, in the evening, there was also confirmation of what I said in the morning block, that there were battles for Severodonetsk. There are battles for Rubizhne, and taking into account the information that I have, namely, that in fact the bulk of the heavy equipment in this area of the armed forces of Ukraine has already been suppressed. Artillery grouping is mostly suppressed. I understand they won't last long, that is, a day or two, and we will hear about the liberation of both Rubizhne and Severodonetsk. Mariupol. I won't say anything today. The situation there is not yet fully understood. Where did the Russian troops advance? Clearly, they have made significant progress. Taking into account the fact that today in the second half of the day they began to take out large numbers of civilians from the left bank, which for many days experienced hunger, deprivation and even lack of water. People just melted the snow to get drunk. And for many hundreds, and maybe thousands of Mariupol residents, these sufferings are over. But details will come tomorrow. Another very interesting news came from Slavyansk. The locals who live in this city have been living for a long time. They said that for the first time we heard something that we had not heard for more than 7 years. What exactly did they hear? They heard heavy artillery shots, which, although in 2014, are located around the city. What does it say? And taking into account the fact that the range of these guns is somewhere around 18 to 19 kilometers, well, a normal range. More or less accurate shot in the region of 15 kilometers, and this suggests that it is at this distance that Russian troops are already located from Slavyansk. That is, you understand, the cannonade from Slavyansk indicates that Russian troops are approaching the city. And the fact that my viewers, in my opinion, read those reports, the same settlements 7 to 8 years ago, these very settlements, these very reports will most likely be on our lips again. By Kharkov. There are fights in the area of Malaya Rogan. There are fights in the area of Dergachi. For those who don't know, I'll tell you. Malaya Rogan is located in the east. This is the eastern exit from Kharkov on the road to Chuguev. That is, in this way, the Russian army is trying to cut off Chuguev from Kharkov. Well, moving on to the Kiev direction. Another very interesting event happened today. I was informed by local residents that the Russian troops had already reached not even the outskirts of Brovary, in fact they were already within the city of Brovary. This is not just intelligence, this is already a serious group that has taken control of the Brovary interchange. That is, a bypass road from Brovary to Borispil. Today, Russian troops have taken this denouement under their full control. Well, there were also reports that despite the fact that Russian troops have not yet reached the Kiev-Kharkov highway, nevertheless, they are already holding it under tight fire control. These are the news, the latest events that have taken place on the fronts. More details tomorrow in the second issue. Well, in the first issue tomorrow morning, I plan to consider a very interesting event on the outer contour of Ukraine that does not directly concern Ukraine. However, concerning the global battle between the US and Russia, that's all for now on this topic. Goodbye. Subscribe to the channel. Well, see you tomorrow.
До свидания, подписывайтесь на канал, ну и до завтра.